You know those fancy bows on wreaths and gift baskets that look like only a professional could have pulled off? Well, today I'm going to show you 5 different bows that you can easily make with just your own 2 hands. Welcome back to my channel. If we're just meeting, my name is Katie Falinger, and here you'll find all sorts of DIY tutorials and ideas, all to make your home your happiest place, and all presented in a way that's super simple to understand. So if that sounds good to you, consider subscribing. I think a lot of DIY videos can be intimidating, and my goal is for you to actually go out and try some of the projects and techniques that you see on my channel. So today, I'm excited to present the first in what will hopefully be an ongoing series of DIY basics tutorials. So with Mother's Day and graduations and wedding season right around the corner and all the gift giving that goes with those, I decided to kick off this series with 5 different ways to make a bow. None of them require any special tools. You just need your own 2 hands. But you will need some good high quality scissors to trim your ribbon. And for just one of the bow techniques I'm going to show you, you'll need a chenille stem, which is just a fancy term for pipe cleaner in my opinion. But few things can embellish something that was otherwise ordinary quite like a bow, right? And for how intricate they can look, bows can actually be really easy to create. So let's get started. Bow number 1 is a simple single knot bow. Start with a line of ribbon. Mine is about 16 inches long. Then make a loop and pinch it. With the other hand, start to loop around as if you were tying a pair of shoelaces, but instead of wrapping the ribbon over the loop, you're going to take it under and loop it through just like you would a pair of shoelaces. That gives you a really nice center knot on the finished bow. This is so basic, it takes all of a few seconds to create, and it would be great to use for a homemade card or an ornament or for scrapbooking. You could even glue a little pin to it and use it as a hair accessory for a little one, so lots of different ways that you could use this. Okay, bow number 2 is also a single knot bow, but this is a different technique. I'm starting again with a length of unwired ribbon, and our hand is going to be the tool we use to make the loops. So make rabbit ears with your 4 and middle fingers, and then you're going to hold down one tail with your thumb, making sure you leave just enough length on the end because this will be the tail of the bow. Loop the ribbon around your hand one time and hold that in place with your thumb as well. Now take that same end and thread it under that main loop right at the base of your 4 and middle fingers. You'll come out the back side and pull it through. Then wrap it over the main loop but to the left of your thumb. When you turn this over, you start to see the bow taking shape at the back. Okay, without moving your thumb, you want to keep that held in place. Take the end of the ribbon and thread it under that top small loop and pull the end through to make a knot, pulling it really tightly. And then just slide that off your fingers and turn it around to reveal another perfectly tied bow. And then you can adjust the size of the loops a bit if you need to. So it's cool that you have options to essentially make the same bow. One is a little more angled and the other, the one I just showed you, does come out a bit straighter across, but it's nice that you can decide which method that you like best. Okay, bow number 3. Now we're changing it up and making a double looped bow, but we're using a slightly more difficult version of that last method I just showed you. So again, I'm using an unwired ribbon, and just like before, we'll make rabbit ears or a peace sign with our fingers, and holding down one tail of the ribbon with your thumb, loop the ribbon around your hand 2 times this time. And again, get your thumb in there so you can hold those loops on your middle finger in place. Then you'll take that same end and thread it under the first 2 loops you made, right through the little space at the base of your fingers. Come out at the back side and pull it all the way through. Then wrap it over the 2 main loops, but to the left of your thumb. And still keeping your thumb in place, take the end of the ribbon and thread it under that top small loop and pull the end through and make a knot, pulling it really tight. And then just slide that off your fingers, turn it around, and reveal another perfectly tied bow, this time with 2 loops on each side. So this bow is probably my favorite. It's just so cute, but it's fuller than the single knot bows. So let me know down in the comments which one is your favorite so far, but we do have 2 more bows left to go. And for these final 2, I highly suggest using a wired ribbon. Each edge is lined all the way down the length of the ribbon with wire. And that's actually a good rule of thumb for larger bows or any bow that you want to last, because you can reshape it. So if you're making a spring wreath, let's say, and you store it for 3 seasons out of the year, you can reshape that bow and make it look just as pretty when you pull it back out the next year. But let's get to bow number 4. This is another double looped bow, and this one can work with any width ribbon, but it's a great one if you want to make a large bow for a wreath or for garland. So in this example, I'm using a 4-inch wide wired ribbon. First thing I'm going to do is trim off about a 12-inch strip. So this will eventually become the center knot of my bow. And then I'll fold that in half and just set it to the side. Okay, now for the main bow. So unravel a good length of your ribbon, and we're just going to make that first loop. But really important here is that you leave a tail that's the length you want for your finished bow. So create your first loop and pinch it between your thumb and forefinger. Also really important here is to make sure that loop is the size you want, because you're going to use this as a guide for all the other loops. So make another loop opposite the first, making sure to match the size of that first loop, and pinch that between your fingers as well. Now you're going to go back to the other side again, and you'll do that same step. Create a loop and pinch that third loop in with the rest that are between your fingers. And we go one more time on the other side, pinching off a loop that's the same size of the others that we just made, and pinching that all between our fingers. And while I'm still holding these loops tightly, I'm going to trim off the other tail from the roll of ribbon. Now you could wait on that step till the end if you want. But now I'll grab that first 12-inch strip that we cut and place it right in the center of my loops. Then I'm grabbing the whole thing with my other hand and keeping it all pinched together so my loops don't fall loose. Then I'll pin it down to my tabletop and tie everything together at the back. And you want to make this nice and tight. I actually like to double knot it. Then flip it over and you can shape and fluff out those loops, making them as flat or as poofy as you want. And to finish it all off, I'm going to chevron my tails. So that just means I'm folding the tail and trimming at an angle from the inside out to the wired edge. This one's really pretty, right? And what's great about that center knot is that you can now use the tails in the back to attach this bow to your wreath or your garland or whatever it is you're attaching to. And a funny side story about this ribbon, it was marketed as Christmas ribbon, but I think that red gingham pattern is so cute for like a summer barbecue or a graduation party, like on a signpost or something. Okay, we have one more bow to go, and you will be needing your chenille stem pipe cleaner for this one. Here it is, bow number 5. I call this one the firework bow because it looks like a burst of colored ribbon. So for this bow, I'm using a bunch of 18-inch strips of ribbon. I have 12 all together, 4 in each color. The blue and the gray burlap ribbons are wired, and the natural color with the dotted stripes, that has no wire in it. But I actually reached for some scrap ribbon that I just had sitting around, so this is a great way to use up an old spool that maybe doesn't have an intended purpose, but you also don't want to throw away. Okay, this is pretty easy. You're just going to take one of the strips, fold it in half, and pinch off a loop about 4 inches down, holding it securely between your fingers. Then take a ribbon strip in the next color, and again, fold it in half and pinch it off about 4 inches down. And do it again with the next color, once more, pinching off a loop. And then you're just going to keep alternating between colors, pinching off new loops with each strip. And all the while, you're holding it together nice and snug with your hand. And once you've made all your loops, grab your chenille stem, and you're going to tie that around the base of the loops and twist it up like you would a bag of bread. And again, you want to twist that chenille stem as tightly as you can. It sort of looks like a bouquet when you're all done. And then you can just start fluffing up the loops and bringing forward some of those ends. And you could use 2 of those tails to tie this on to whatever it is that you're embellishing. So this could look great as a topper to a really big gift or even on a Christmas tree. You could also opt for floral wire to attach this instead of two of the tails, especially if you want to maintain that really full look of this bow with all of the tails facing forward. So which one of these bows is your favorite? Let me know in the comments which one you think you might want to try. Meanwhile, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button so that I know that I should make more videos like this one. Share it with your creator friends, and do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, ring the bell to get notified when new videos go up. But I do post every single Thursday, and I'd love to have you join me for the next one. And until then, feel free to drop me a note in the comments or over on social media. I always love hearing your ideas for future videos, and I've linked all my social pages below. And next week is for the dogs. I'm going to show you how I made Paw Patrol curtains for my twins' outdoor fort without ever lifting a needle and thread. So stay tuned for that. Hope you're having a great week. Thanks for watching, as always, and I'll see you next Thursday. But few things can and what is a little one to make a bow. So it's got wire, but I actually reach for some or even on top of a Christmas tree.